Good morning. It's afternoon now, isn't it? It's November the 14th. Um, Not going far afield today. I have to be back here where I am now by 2 o'clock, and it's already 1:20 or something like that. So this will just be a neighborhood walk. Thought what I'd do is work my way up to 13th and just take a walk down 13th Avenue. Show off various stores and things there. Done it before, but not recently, and I usually kind of dip into 13th and then go around the corner, but this time I'll try to just get my way down towards Elphinstone and 13th, walk down 13th, and then back home. I think that's the plan today. So we're starting by going up Angus Crescent here. It's right around freezing today, maybe -2 or thereabouts, I think. It's supposed to be warmer the next couple of days, but we're supposed to get more snow on Tuesday, although they've downgraded it. They were saying 10 centimeters. Last time I looked, it was only 5. But we'll see. There's some sort of storm coming into Saskatchewan, and it's uncertain exactly what that's going to do. But we'll find out soon enough. Like we can control it. Just wait and see. Nothing too exciting this weekend, except for my walk. Didn't do anything too much work-wise this weekend. No podcast or anything like that. Bought groceries. Woohoo. I have a feeling my microphone is sliding down, which is weird. I don't know why it should do that. Hope it sounds all right. This is a different coat, so again, it's connected a little differently to the coat. So if anybody bothers to check in, let me know how I sound. As you can see, the snow is not going anywhere. And there's more coming, and colder weather. So I think this might be the beginning of the big whiteout. It happens every year. We go from brown to white, usually in one day, and then it sticks. And you never know what day that will be or which snowfall necessarily. Sometimes you get a big snowfall and it all melts, but I don't think this one's going to. Looking at the long-range forecast anyway. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the time. Hi, Lucas. How are you? You can hear me okay, I hope. Microphone might be a little further away from my mouth than sometimes. Walking up Angus Crescent, which is the crescent I live on. This is College Avenue coming up here. Go down College a bit here as I work my way up towards 13th and Elphinstone is where I'm headed. A question, if I can read it. Oh, everybody asks that. Hi, Madeline, Victoria. Yeah, I've answered that question many a time because people look at it and say, what the heck? It's done to keep, there's a kind of moth. The females are flightless when they're laying eggs. So they crawl up the trunks of trees, lay eggs, which hatch. And then the larvae and caterpillars will eat the leaves. So twice a year, you're supposed to band your tree. What it really is a piece of typically insulation inside plastic, and then duct tape to the tree. And then they smear grease on it to keep the insects from being able to climb up the tree. They get trapped in the grease. And that keeps the infestation down in the spring, which is when, in a bad year, in a tree that hasn't been banded, pretty much denude the tree of leaves. So that's what that's for. Also, they're called cankerworms, these little things. They're very annoying because they dangle out of the trees on little spider webs, and they get on your car and they get on you, and it's really annoying. Gotta watch my footing, I don't want to fall down again. Most of the sidewalks are pretty good, but there are icy patches still. It's just like, oh, I guess it is still morning in Victoria, isn't it? Since the time change. So I'm just heading up bit by bit to 13th Avenue, which is more of a commercial strip for part of its distance, and we'll take a walk there along the stores and churches and so forth. And that'll be it for today, because I only have 40 minutes here. I'd even have to cut that short. I'll have to keep an eye on the time. Brew house stands out in the snow over there. Typically the north side of the street will have less ice and snow on it because it gets more sunlight this time of year, because the sun is way in the south. So the south side is frequently shaded by the buildings and fences and doesn't get any sun at all sometimes during the day, so less likely to melt off. All right. Well, I've gone by that one a few times, the painted garage, but I hadn't really noticed this one with the two birds and the elephant. It's an old apartment row. Don't know how old, but has the look of something older that was renovated. Maybe it's newer than I think it is. I don't actually know. All right, we'll go up full here. There's colorful houses along here. I think I walked up here on Halloween night. It was the last time. Some of these houses look familiar, only they had Halloween decorations in front of them. I remember this one with the Canadian flag, for example. I did notice the pink flamingo that night. Mailbox. Check my feet. One fall is enough. I don't want to have another one this winter of any description anywhere at any time. Working on a house here. What those staple gun sounds were. I'm wearing my boots, which theoretically have more grip than my running shoes, but I'm not entirely sure about that. Sometimes I think they have less. So I maybe should have warned the runners today, because there's no snow to step in, which the boots are good for, obviously. and might feel a little more secure on the icy patches. Not a problem in Victoria or Brazil, I'm guessing. At least not at the moment. Nice orange one, that stands out in the snow too. That's quite a big older one there. And the one on the corner here is quite large too. Carefully crossing the street. They're actually the slipperiest in some places where the snow has been packed down. That's 13th up there where the cars are going by, so just one more block once we get around the corner here. I've often walked by this fence. It usually has children's artwork in it, but at the moment the frames are empty, I see. I'm hoping the sidewalk on 13th itself is clearer than some of these have been. When I did fall 3 days ago, whenever that was, it was on a alleyway exit where of course the road slopes down as you come off the alley onto the main road, and that's what caught me. It's that little bit of sideways downhill slope. Foot stood out and down I went. There's Connaught School over here. I'll stay on this side of this road. This is Elphinstone. There's the school over there. There's a little open sidewalk. Very modern school that replaced a much, much older school that was torn down. The original school was built in 1914. It was torn down a few years ago and this brand new one built. As I often comment, people who went to the old school, people who were used to seeing the old school around, you think, well, it's terrible, that old, lovely old building. But it was an old building with all sorts of structural problems. And it was a school, so, the kids, I'm sure, were more excited about getting a new school than about not getting a chance to go to an old school. I certainly would have been as a kid. It was a bad stretch. Somebody didn't clear their sidewalk at all after either snowfall, which you're supposed to. There's the school again. Like there's a bylaw now, 48 hours, you're supposed to have the city-owned sidewalk in front of your house cleared. I guess you can leave your own, I don't know if you can leave the walkway up to your house unshoveled if you wanted to, but that would be a very odd choice. Okay. I usually walk down this side of the street, so I think I'll walk down the other side of the street as I go down 13th here. If you went on down that way is Mosaic Stadium, where the Rough Riders beat Edmonton last night to earn a home playoff game in Canadian Football League Championships. That's the Happy High Coffee and Bakery. Here's the Slate Gallery. Over there is the Connaught branch of the Public Library. Nice old building, speaking of nice old buildings. Has a Fafard exhibit on, which is kind of cool. Yeah, this was the Creek Bistro. We loved the Creek Bistro, but it's now, of all things, a Chinese chicken takeout place. which is kind of disappointing to us. It was more of a high-end restaurant, and now it's not. Oh, this is another bad stretch right here. That's the other thing, is that a walk that should only be short these days is getting longer because of the uncertain footing. It's an apartment building over there. So there's still some residential stuff here as you move in towards the cathedral, which is coming up to our right. And another stretch of uncleared sidewalk. I'm all for this new bylaw if people will obey it. Hadn't thought about how much that will impact my walks. This is terrible. Look at this. Someone just couldn't be bothered. Or they hoped it would melt off. I kind of had that hope myself, but I did clear it. I'm glad I did. Much slower walk along there. Over here is the, I don't know what they call it, but it was a nunnery at one point, and now it's condos. Because it was attached, not attached, but connected with the, well, now we're actually seeing houses over here that are now businesses on this side. So here's the front of it. You can see the cross up there. I've been in those. They're kind of nice. And there's an old chapel in there that's very interesting too. Over here is the Groovy Mama clothing store. I think it's clothing. I've never been in the Groovy Mama. I don't think I'm the demographic they're going for. There's Holy Rosary Cathedral, of course. Built around 1914, 1910, somewhere in there. I don't remember the exact date. This is an old apartment building. I once went on a date with a girl who lived there. It's the only time I've ever been in there. And then the 13th Avenue Coffee House coming up on our left. That's the cool mural on the side. So there's 3 of these old houses, which are all businesses now. 3 or 4 of them, actually. Village House, the Cat and the Fiddle Antiques and Gift Shop. I've never been in there either. There's the front of the cathedral. Grade A, as you can see. Over here we have Blush Beauty Bar in that old house. There's a lot of murals on the walls in this area. I'll watch my feet again here. Bodhi Tree Yoga, and then right next to it is the Penny University Bookstore. Brand new bookstore that opened during the pandemic, moved over here from where it was originally, and they have a lot of my books in there, so I'm very fond of them. That's Westminster United Church over there, and here we've got Seed. Coming up next is Des Arts, which is a candy and ice cream shop here on this corner. On one end of this old row houses there. Westminster United over here has very nice acoustics, so I've sung in there a few times. Well, this is bad. Oh, and now the gimbal got really confused there. In fact, it's gone off entirely. That's odd. I don't know what brought that on. I'll get it fixed here in a minute. Huh. There it goes. Oh, that was fun. Still crooked though. I don't know what brought that on. Okay. Such excitement. Now my horizon, which looked pretty straight, looks quite unlevel. I guess it's because I pointed at the ground. I didn't like that, but honestly, there's 2 or 3 sections here are really annoying. Brandy's over there. I do a lot of mailing from their little post office. Pacific Fresh Fish. We get fish there. There's a coffee roastery here. And then Gale's Forest. Safeway over there. Here's the Mercury Cafe. Has a rocket ship on it if you look at it from outside. And again, Safeway over there, where we buy groceries. I really don't walk down this side very often. Barber Aesthetics kind of place. Filipino bakery here. Wild Medicine, which is a pot shop. Cathedral Pet Shop, which is a pet shop. More focused on dogs and cats like they usually are. Well, yeah, it stayed crooked after I reset it, so I don't know what brought that on. Also a bank over there. This is the Cathedral Neighborhood Center. Some of the things going on. This is our brand new liquor store. Oh, there's this little sculpture here on the corner. Sobeys Liquor Store. We've never had one in the neighborhood before, so it's really handy if we need something in a hurry to be able to just come down here. Because straight down that street is the way I would drive if I were going home from here. Spirits, wine, cold beer. Colorful park bench. This is empty at the moment. That's a coffee shop over there, and then this little stand outside sells ice cream during the summer. Very popular. Long lineups all the time. Plus, again, great murals on the side of the house there. This used to be the Oddfellows Hall. I performed in there once, but now it's that. Employment Network Recruitment Specialist. Over there is the Christian Bookstore. Burns Hanley, which has actually been around a very long time. In fact, their old location downtown was just saved from demolition. It's in an old historic building that apparently Louis Riel's body was kept after he was hung. There's been other things, but anyway. But on the other side here is the New Age bookstore, or warehouse books. All that stuff for which I have no use. Cup of Tea is a tea store, not a tea shore. She sells tea bags down by the tea shore. Paper Umbrella is a stationery store. Bought stuff in there quite a few times. It's nice. Traditions is the gallery, and again, a mural on the side here. Handcraft gallery here. Don't think it's open today, but you can see some of the stuff in the window. And Christmas trees are starting to appear too. This is a shoe clinic, shoe repair. I think that, I'm not even sure what that is. This has been an art gallery, but now it's called the Holistic Dispensary. So it's that kind of neighborhood. The Artesian over there is an old church that's been turned into a performing arts space. Which I performed in when I was on the board of Golden Apple Theatre, which is a professional theatre company. That was our main performance space. We've done a book launch in there too. There's a lovely lounge in the basement. I think I will cross here. So always stuff going on in there. This building over here has Viet Thai in it, which is our favorite takeout Asian food place. As it says, Vietnamese and Thai food. And then from here, I'll walk down Albert Street a little ways to get home. Hopefully the sidewalk is clearer on Albert. I hope, because it's been way slipperier than I'd hoped it would be today. So it's, I mean, you can see there's ice and snow on the sidewalks, and because it's in the parking lot and because it's melting a little, that makes it slipperier. That's the number one fire hall across there. Headquarters of the Regina Fire Department. And I would say no, the sidewalk is worse on Albert Street. Well, I have no choice but to very carefully make my way along here. Maybe I will leave Albert Street at the first opportunity. Well, maybe it's better up there. Again, it depends on what it fronts and whether they're looking after their sidewalks or not. This is a strip mall. I guess they don't consider that part of their concern. Distillery in here that makes vodka and things like that. And then coming up, very slowly as I shuffle along, there's another art gallery. Over there is where the bookstore I talked about started, just at the same time as the pandemic, and it moved to where it is now, which is a much better location. There's karaoke place, Indian Bistro, Chamber of Commerce, gay club, and a chiropractic clinic. So it's an eclectic mix. This is the Nouveau Gallery. And of course the Cat Cafe. Finally some clear sidewalk, because the church, First Presbyterian here, where we were married in fact, does take seriously the need to clear its sidewalks. Old apartment building here that has some businesses in the basement. Kenora Mall, I guess, is the proper name for it. The Braemar over there is another old apartment building from back in the day. Space for lease in here if you're looking. Up here is a print shop that I've never made use of. It's been here forever, microprint. There's all sorts of stuff, some of which I probably have needed done at times, and I never think of this place even though it's so close. This is Bodega, a restaurant which I have yet to see open since the pandemic, even though I'm told it is. Never there at the right time, I guess. This is kind of a assisted living place to my right. People with disabilities. Over there's a few things. There's a bakery over there I never go to. Legion headquarters. And Class Act Studios here. It's where my daughter danced and worked during the summer. So I've been in there many a time. And now we're back to bad sidewalks again. I think I'll actually cut across the lot here because the snow on the grass is way safer than the ice on the sidewalks. It's the back of Class Act Studio, or the back of the building that it's in. Oh, maybe I'll walk through here. I've never done that. Let's see. Should take me to the front. Cross over to Angus Street here. Yeah. It's a surprising thing too. Oh, bad choice. Look at this. Look at this. It's a skating rink. But it is better once you get in front of the building. I did know somebody who lived in here for a while. I remember this place being built because it was kind of a prefabricated thing where they had pre-done chunks that they stacked up and connected. Like a giant blocks, almost. Building blocks. That's what it reminded me of. Okay. It says Angus Street, which connects to Angus Crescent, which is where I live. The old Saskatchewan building there, the even older Saskatchewan building there, Saskatchewan government telephones in those days, which is now part of the Royal Saskatchewan Museum and has all sorts of priceless and fascinating fossils. I don't know, priceless, who'd buy them, but scientifically priceless fossils. On occasion. That's where they do work on stuff like that. I like to say there was a story 2 or 3 years ago about a dinosaur found in amber, small, something like that. And I was reading it and it said, Royal Saskatchewan Museum, and then I realized that in fact it was in this building, like a block from my house. I was reading it on Reuters or something like that. Some big international news site. It's a Unitarian Center over there. Used to be First Church of Christ Scientist back in the day. Mary Baker Eddy. Science and health with the key to the scriptures. Why do I know that? Don't ask me. I knew about Christian Science even before Jonathan Livingston Seagull came out, which was all based on its rather odd beliefs that nothing is real, it's all in your head, basically. Kind of an early version of the Matrix, I guess. It's all just kind of a shared hallucination. The world, that is. Prove that it's not, huh? You can't, can you? No, you can't. Where is he going? He's going that way. All right, back to good old Angus Crescent. So I've got to keep an eye on the sidewalk. Wouldn't want to take a tumble on the home stretch here, literally the home stretch. So tomorrow is Monday. I would expect to walk along the creek tomorrow, as usual. It is a busy day, so I'll probably try to do that first thing and get it out of the way. I have a podcast. I think I have 3 podcast interviews this week. 2 for sure, maybe 3. I don't know why this guy is walking alongside me like that, or driving alongside me like that. Looking for a number, I guess. And didn't find it, so now he's reversing direction. It only felt like he was stalking me with his car. This is quite a steep slope, so I'm always careful on that one in the wintertime. All right, well, I'll stop here because it's as good a place as any. So thanks for walking with me on this somewhat shorter than usual walk. And I should be back tomorrow for a walk along the creek. Bye for now.